Well, I'm curious if, in a different world, if McDavid told them, hey, I'm leaving after this year, would they have gone about business differently? And I think that's kind of what you're driving at, Dave. Like, McDavid specifically said, I like being here with the core guys. And then immediately Wallman signs, immediately Ekholm signs. In other words, is McDavid contributing to that? Does he have that kind of power?
Yeah.
Is there a LeBron James element to this where we goof on LeBron a lot? Well, he's getting this guy fired. He's getting that guy signed. He's getting that guy traded.
You mean going to Ekholm and saying, I did it, you better do it too?
No, well, or, hey, keep Ekholm because I'm staying and he's a core guy. And if, is everyone on board with all this? Or is it, hey, we got to keep McDavid happy because he signed for 12.5? Dregs, you can start on that.
Well, maybe a little bit of everything. Do I think that, Stan Bowman and Jeff Jackson go to Connor McDavid and make personnel decisions, roster decisions? No. Do I think that he historically has had input and at times isn't afraid to share his opinion? Yeah, I think that all of that is true. And why wouldn't he, right? He's the best player on the planet. He's the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. But Mike Johnson made this point on Monday night on our preview show, and I think it's valid. It was way easier. Obviously, Bowman and company had been in negotiations with Jake Wallman, right? You don't announce Connor McDavid and then short time after Wallman's deal gets done. But Connor would feel good knowing that, all right, we've got Wallman done. Now we have Matthias Ekholm. These are two pieces that I'm comfortable with, that we can win with, but you're not done yet. Are we good with goaltending? Let's see in 20-25 games. Do we need pieces up front? Well, given the level of inexperience with certain players up front for the Edmonton Oilers, yeah, Stan Bowman has some work to do, if not this year, then in the next two to keep McDavid happy.
CJ, we'll get you out of here with a question about the game tonight. You're down there at Scotiabank Arena. This is the first time in 11 years Brendan Shanahan is not running the whole operation. Do you anticipate it looking, sounding any different tonight in terms of opening ceremonies, in terms of how they unveil things? Game ops, because he was involved in that, heavily involved in that. The Keith Pelly era instead of the Brendan Shanahan era. Do you think it'll be different for the fan experience, and will we notice it night one?
It's a great question. Honestly, I hadn't considered that angle of things. I do think it's possible. I know from speaking with people around the Leafs that they've felt some changes behind the scenes, not just pursuant to Brendan Shanahan being gone, but with the change in ownership and Rogers, having a bigger influence and ownership stake in the team. And so I do think things are shifting a little bit, but I don't know if that's something we'll see or feel in this game. To be honest, I'm most wondering, what's the vibe going to be like in the rink? Is everyone going to be watching a baseball game on their phone? If the Jays, hopefully Vladdy hits another big home run early in the game, are people going to react to that? It might be kind of a strange home opener just because there's such a big baseball game going on at the same time. But, it's definitely the start of a new era. I can even say the little bit I've been around Leafs camp that there's been, I would say, a little more access granted to the reporters. I think that's something Keith Pelly, if you remember, talked about in May. But it seems like they're extending an olive branch. I'm not getting that on Brendan Shanahan. It wasn't his job to do those types of things. But certainly, there's big changes behind the scenes with the organization, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see some of those things manifest themselves in things that we can see or get a sense of, at least in the role I have here.
All right. Well, night 2 of the NHL. It's gonna be a blockbuster this evening, man. You got Leafs Habs, Battle of Alberta. You got Mitch Marner making his debut in Vegas tonight. It's going to be awesome. All right, boys, we'll let you get back at it. Thank you for doing this as always.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. See you guys.
The Insiders. Chris Johnston, Darren Dreger joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Get in and go where adventures take you in a new 2025 Tacoma for Maple Tacoma, or Maple Toyota, near Canada's Wonderland in the Maple Auto Mall. Visit mapletoyota.com.
Yeah. Keith Pelly was like, nah, Carlton, I don't want you to come out there. I don't want you to bang the drum. I don't want the flag.
I don't know.
Totally different game ops.
You're being facetious, but Andy Frost was the voice of that rink forever until Shanahan showed up.
That's right.
And Shanahan decided he won't be anymore.
Yeah.
So that was one thing.
The anthem singer, Shanny, was all over.
The anthem singer was different. What the goal song was. Shanahan was involved in all of that.
Oh, yeah.
So someone's got to be involved in that stuff. And I don't know what Keith Pelly's going to do there. I mean, Keith's a showman, like you said, Dave. Like Keith it's the entertainment business, and they're trying to win. And I don't expect it to be crazy different. I don't think it has to be crazy different. But
no, but Keith's talking about, more fan access. They're trying to give away tickets to fans that don't get in the building on a regular basis. They're trying to make it more approachable. Now that's not easy, given the Bay Street crowd and how they've jacked the prices and people pay it, and that's the free market. But that's the spirit behind it, at least right now. That's what Keith is telling people as he goes out and sort of, to your point, carnival barks and gets people hyped.
Yeah, and when we had him on at BMO Field, like he was talking about what they plan on doing in terms of access, in terms of production in the background. They hired
Access
Ryan Leslie.
to what though, Hayes?
Well, tickets for one. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to give you they're not giving away the building, but they're giving away some tickets to fans that don't normally get in the building, and they're just trying to make it. They're just trying to do some different things. Ultimately. Like, one thing about Keith Pelly, I'll tell you this, he's, when he was at the European Golf Tour, he was an innovator. Like, they did a lot of different stuff that the PGA Tour wasn't doing in terms of giving access. They made their social media channels a priority way before a lot of the North American leagues were doing it. They were making the players more accessible to fans. That was a big push from Keith. I know that for a fact, and I think that's kind of what you're seeing here, right? Like you're seeing the people involved in the team are a little more at ease in the way they're communicating. Now it's easy to do that when you haven't played a game.
You haven't played yet.
You haven't lost big games.
Yep.
But it is what it is, and I think that comes from the top.
Well, and yes, and I think that's important. I've noticed it. It's been very early in the process, like you said. Let's see what happens when they lose 5 in a row and all that kind of stuff gets tested. And again, when Shanahan got here, he did some amazing things, some incredible things with this team, including the alumni, the retirement of the jerseys, Legends Row. Fighting for an outdoor game. He did a lot of amazing things for this team. And Keith Pelly has been here. He's been here, I guess, a year and a half. Mm-hmm. But, this is going to take on his image more. And it's not just the Leafs. It's the Raptors, it's TFC, the Argos. They own a lot of teams and a lot of buildings. They run a lot of buildings. So he's a busy guy, but he is an innovative guy that's been in entertainment and sports and TV and media. He's done it all throughout his career.
What's going to be fascinating now that you guys just mentioned all the things, Hayes, is what are some of the stuff that we thought was awesome that Shanny did? What if he doesn't like them?
Well,
kind
of like Wiki coming in, take down
get rid of
black and white photos. Yeah.
Get rid of Legends Row. Get rid of it.
So there's going to be some stuff that maybe he doesn't like, and how awkward is it that it's 10 years old and now all of a sudden it's not going to be around, or you're going to get rid of stuff? That'll be weird and fascinating to follow.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, and ultimately it comes down to what the team does. That's obviously what fans want, and the large majority of fans in the city and the country don't go to games, or at one game a year or whatever.